What is the importance of having a hiring process for all parts of your business, agents to operations people, just having a process and staying to the process? I've learned a lot of hard lessons, but I wanted to bring Katie on because she's been learning how to engage in the hiring process for herself as she hires herself a showing agent, and she has some ahas to share. So Katie, what would you say is the first thing you learned by really dedicating yourself to being a student and I guess to a teacher of this process that we follow, which is called career visioning?
Yeah, so as an agent who on the team who's been through this process, I think one of my biggest takeaways is just thinking more deeply about what I wanted out of my career and my life, and then really designing a pathway to get from point A to point B with the least amount of bumps in the road. I think we all sort of have this vision for what our life is going to be in the future, and no plan of action on how to get there. And so it really made me think more critically about what sorts of actions I needed to do to develop myself as a person and human on a personal side and a professional side.
That's really incredible insights. I always say that the career visioning process, our hiring process, is a gift to whoever really engages in it. I mean, for us, it's a 7.5 hour process. And we do that for agents as well as ops. So it's like, once we get to that end point, like the person that went through it with you is like, has all these ahas about themselves, which is really cool. What would you say from actually doing it with people that you're looking to hire? What are some things that you've learned?
So this was a completely new process for me. I've never hired anybody before personally. So one of the biggest takeaways so far is I've learned that you can't just rely on somebody being a nice person. Of course, you want them to be a nice person, but it really has to be so much more than that. Not only do you want to create a conversation to determine if they're a good fit for the team or for your specific role that you're hiring for, but you also want to make sure they feel like you're a good fit back. And that's really important through this process. We do a lot of discovery and asking a lot of questions to help us understand each other. And there's nothing good or bad about any of the responses that we get or the questions that we have. It just is, and it helps us have a better understanding of that person.
What's another thing that you've learned by going through this process with potential candidates?
I think, we always talk about asking more questions and asking deeper questions with our friends, our family, our clients, leads, and this is no different. Giving someone, there's just so much value and importance of giving someone the time and space to answer on their own and think on their own without influencing them. And so, just getting comfortable with letting there be space in conversation. With the career visioning process, there's an outline to help facilitate that, and that makes it really easy. But also, there's so much to learn from that too.
So true. I mean, I think also one of my greatest takeaways of this process is it does create a standard, and it allows the standard to dictate if somebody moves forward or not. And then therefore it's not like an emotional decision, and people rise to the standards or they self-select them out. And I know I've had experiences where I'm like really stoked about somebody on the screening call, and then they show up late or no show multiple times throughout the process, and they're basically just telling me like, hey, I'm not a fit. But if I would have hired them on the screening interview, I would have like invested this time in them and then been disappointed when we're in more of a serious relationship. So I think it's just really been an incredible process to use and learn and master. If you have any questions about hiring processes and you want mentorship, please reach out. We're here to help. We're actively doing career visioning on a daily and weekly basis, so we've learned quite a few things, and we're here for you.